I'm walking
with the Spirit,
and I'm talking
to the Spirit.
I'm learning
from the Spirit,
and I'm turning
to the Spirit.
I'm growing
in the Spirit,
and it's showing
through the Spirit.
I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. Well, I'm walking
with the Spirit.
I'm talking
to the Spirit.
I'm
learning from the Spirit,
and I'm turning
to the Spirit.
I'm growing
in the Spirit,
and it's showing
through the Spirit.
I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of those situations that's leading to some kind of drama or confrontation, I go within and get plugged into my friend before it's too late. I put the Spirit in front of me to make those crooked places straight. I'm walking
with the Spirit,
and I'm talking
to the Spirit.
I'm learning
from the Spirit,
and I'm turning
to the Spirit.
I'm growing
in the Spirit,
and it's so
Spirit.
I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. When I find myself in one of those situations, when I don't know what to do and got no explanation, I go within and get plugged in for a revelation. 10 times out of 9 things will work out fine without my participation. I'm walking
with the Spirit,
I'm talking
to the Spirit.
I'm learning
from the Spirit,
and I'm turning
to the Spirit.
I'm growing
in the Spirit,
and it's showing
the Spirit.
I'm walking with the Spirit in front of me. I'm walking
with the Spirit,
and I'm talking
to the Spirit.
I'm learning
from the Spirit,
and I'm turning
to the Spirit. the Spirit,
and it's showing
the Spirit.
I'm walking with the Spirit.
There is but one presence and one power in my life and in the universe, and that is God, the good, omnipotent. There is but one presence and one power
Welcome to the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. My name is Joe Lurquin. Very happy to be able to MC this Sunday celebration here in Paoli, Pennsylvania. Yes, we are here live broadcasting, and you're able to stream this service through Facebook and YouTube. And so we know that you're doing that and you're with us today. Now, here at GPCSL, this is a place where all are welcome. We connect with spirit through the principles of science of mind. Our intention, awakening humanity to its spiritual magnificence. We teach and practice the science of mind principles. The CSL theme for 2022, Happy New Year, is Living Everyday Wonder. The January theme is Beautiful Basics. And we're happy to see some people here present with us in person, and also to, again, know that you are watching with us, streaming live. So, since I'm here, that brings up the question, where did Reverend Dr. Maxine and Reverend Mike run off to? Well, my theory is they heard there was a blizzard coming here to Pennsylvania, and they decided to fly on out of here. Actually, they're attending a ministerial conference out in California. So we miss them, but we're carrying on. Dr. Maxine, as Dr. Maxine would, has given me a very detailed order of service that I'm going to follow. She's also left with me some wonderful people to help out, and that would include Payson Burt, Edie Janik, Rich Janik, and of course our practitioner of the day, live and in person, Joseph Lurquin. And also we have many guests who are joining us by way of video. And so Dr. Maxine arranged for our guest speaker, and that would be Reverend Doug Craig from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, and he will be speaking, and I'll tell you his talk title and a little more about him as we get further into our celebration today. We also, as I mentioned, want to state our purpose statement here at CSL. So say it with me, please. Living, loving, learning, spirituality that works. Now, we have an opening song, I believe, coming up from Jim Wade. So this is the Gathering Song. Thank you very much, Thank you, Elise, and all of us present here who are singing out in our hearts that wonderful gathering song here at CSL. And now, next on the order of service is what we call the Kid Talk. So sometimes we get to talk with children who are actually here at the center. But for today, we're going to be talking with all of you young people who are, and maybe many others as well, who are watching, listening, and streaming. So what I thought I'd talk about today would be the holiday that we're celebrating tomorrow. It's a federal holiday tomorrow, and we're celebrating Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. And it is, as I said, a federal holiday. So let's talk a little bit about Dr. King and what he brought in his very short life here to our country and the world. Dr. King was a preacher. He was a civil rights activist. He advocated for nonviolent change. And so he is famous for many things, and including a number of speeches. So I'm thinking tomorrow you're going to be hearing either excerpts or speeches from Dr. King. One of his most famous is the one referred to as the "I Have a Dream," and that was given by Dr. King in 1963, which is decades ago, but very recent for all of us, many of us. And so in his speech, he made the speech in front of a crowd of over 200,000 people. And this was at the at the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. In 1964, Dr. King received the Nobel Peace Prize. Now, I wrote down a couple of quotes from Dr. King that, in my mind, relate to what we believe and do here with our Science of Mind principles. And the first one is, darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate. Only love can do that. And another speech. Life's most persistent and urgent question is, what are you doing for others? So for some of us, as we celebrate Dr. King and his life and legacy, we're called to have a day of service. And in that day of service, we're able to help others and other communities in the beloved communities and help make their lives a little better. And it doesn't have to be a really big thing that you're doing. Many of us here at CSL are helping with some things that need to be done here at our location. And others of us are able to help our members of our community. And with that, I'm speaking specifically of our wonderful Jeff Messino and Emily Zoll. They help us out, of course, day in and day out. And they've got a big day coming up tomorrow. They're moving. So we need to keep them in our consciousness and know that all is well. And then the very next day, Emily's parents, longtime members and founders, that would be practitioner Ann Cassidy Zoll and our very own Jay-Z, John Zoll, they're moving. And so big changes in their life, and we're just knowing that it is already accomplished in spirit, it is already done, and it is wonderful. So that's how we're serving in our community and our beloved community. So tomorrow, as you celebrate the holiday and the long weekend, I invite you to think of Dr. King and his messages. Now it's time for our guided meditation. And this is led by practitioner intern Bo Smith. And Bo Smith has sent in our video all the way from Florida. So we're going to be able to relax and enjoy the guided meditation.
Good morning. My name is Bo Smith, and I am a practitioner intern with the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. It is my honor to do the opening meditation this morning. So I invite you to sit back and relax. Close your eyes if you are comfortable doing so. And I invite you to take in a few deep breaths, inhaling fully and exhaling completely. Just allowing yourself to relax into this moment. As we take these few brief minutes to come together in consciousness, to know the truth about ourselves and about our world, we do so in great peace, in deep relaxation, allowing ourselves to dive deeper into the core of who we are, the core of our own being. As we continue to breathe deeply, relaxing into the moment, we do so in gratitude. We do so with a grateful heart, knowing that this time together, this time in silence, in communion with the greater spirit that we are, is a blessed moment. As we go within as we are, touching the divinity within, we allow it to soak into our being, into our awareness. This beingness, this awareness, this consciousness that we are, is indeed life, the divine life. It is love, divine unconditioned love flowing through us. This energy is light, the wisdom of the entire universe and beyond flowing through us, as us. This energy is power, the very power that created our world. It is also peace, a peace that passes all understanding, a peace that pervades the entire world, the entire existence of the universe. This energy is joy, the joy of life expressing itself completely, clearly, and with ease and grace through each of us. It is also beauty, profound beauty found at the core and the heart of everything that we see, everything that we hear and experience. These divine qualities are the exact same qualities that reside within us. So I'd like to take a few moments with you to explore these qualities a little more. What does peace feel like to you? How does it manifest for you in the midst of all that goes on around us? That divine peace that we are. How do you bring it into the world? That divine aspect of power that we are. All power. A quiet and steady power, as it flows through you, giving you life, how do you choose to manifest power into this world? What does that look like for you? This divine energy that we are is life, as we were describing earlier. How does life flow through you as you? If someone were to look at you and say, wow, that is the divine life expressing, how does that look? How does that feel? Divine light expressing through each of us. How do we bring that light out into the world? How do we bring that wisdom and that safety into the world? That beacon of light on a hill. We are the light of spirit shining. How does your light manifest? Divine, unconditioned love expressing through you and me now. How do you bring your expression of love into this world? Unconditioned love, unconditioned regard for everything, for all things. How are you bringing love into this world? What behaviors, what actions, what state of mind are you in? What do you do to bring that into this world? How does that look for you? Boundless joy, another of the divine aspects. How does joy flow through and as you today? In what ways can you express the joy of life, the joy of living in your world? Divine beauty, how are you expressing the beautiful in your world? How are you dressing up and showing up to present to the world the divine beauty that you are? The divine beauty flowing and shining through you. How does that look? How does that feel today? Taking a few minutes each day to do this, I find myself pre-praying for the day, setting my tone, setting my intention for the day ahead. The divine expression as me. How does life look through and as me? How does light look? Love and peace and power, beauty and joy. How does the truth look through me today? I open myself up to that now. As we open ourselves up to these divine qualities and how we can uniquely and beautifully demonstrate them into the world, we allow the movement of that spirit through us to guide us into the next best expression of this is how it works. This is how the divine expresses, by guiding us through our intuition, through our inner knowing, completely feeling and accepting these divine qualities flowing through us. We allow them to manifest into the world in divine, profound ways. We are that light. We are the love and the life and that power and peace, the joy, the beauty. We are the truth in expression. I invite you to feel that flowing through you now. The power and potential that all of this is present right here and right now. Something that we can harness and utilize for the betterment of ourselves, for others, for the world. And as we continue to breathe, allowing these sparks of divinity to flow, to manifest deep and profound ways through us, as us, I invite you to open to the inner wisdom, that inner light within you, to see what it has to say to you today. What is it advising you to do today? How are you going to be the divine in action today? This is how it works. This is how we work. The divine endpoint of these qualities in the manifest world. As we just continue to breathe and relax, let's bring ourselves back into an awareness of the room that we are in deep gratitude for this opportunity to spend time together knowing the truth. As we bring ourselves back into the awareness of the room and of the environment we are in, we do so in that gratitude, bringing those divine qualities forward into the service, into the rest of our weekend, into the rest of our lives going forward. That is the invitation, to deeply contact these qualities within and to bring them out. To meditate within, and then to act from these qualities. As we open ourselves to the divine message being given today, we do so in that gratitude, knowing that the truth is flowing freely, clearly, as us now. And as we open our eyes, prepared to receive the wisdom from the service today, I invite you to remember these qualities as you and how to bring them forward. And so it is.
And so it is. Thank you, Bo, for that beautiful, inspirational meditation. And now it is my pleasure to introduce the practitioner of the day, and that would be live and in person, my husband, Joseph Lurquin, who's going to share an opening spiritual mind treatment with all of us.
Thank you very much, Joe. Good morning. Welcome to this Sunday celebration. My name is Joe Lurquin. I am a practitioner with this center. I will start with a reading from The Science of Mind by Ernest Holmes, page 83. Creation does not mean making something out of nothing. Creation is the passing of spirit into form. It is eternally going on. Spirit cannot change, for being all, there is nothing for it to change into. This is self-evident. Now I invite you, I will state this treatment in the first person. I invite you to take it for yourself. This is what I know. I know that there is only one source, one law, one God. That God is everywhere and in everything and is part of everything. I know this is who I am, as is everyone else in this area. Everyone in the world, everyone in existence. Everything is part of the one. I know this is the wonderment, this is the beauty, and this is the peace that is part of everything that I am and everything that there is. I am living in the now, knowing this is exactly where I should be, for this is where everything is. I know that this is the perfection of the world and of everything around me. I know that the light inside me is God, and it is getting brighter and brighter every day, as I know and acknowledge and be part of this wonderment that is the one, that is peace, it is love, it is the beauty, it is everything that is all around me, and it is part of who and what I truly am right here and right now. I know this is the truth, and I'm very grateful for this teaching, grateful for this knowing, grateful for everything that I have around me and everything that helps me in my daily business, in my daily work, and in my daily praying. I know this is the perfection of who and what I truly am. And I read this as knowing into the law, knowing it is already complete. I know that this law is within each one of us, and this law is where everything is, and everything starts, and everything is complete. And I release this now knowing it is done and it is complete. As we say together, and so it is.
Okay, thank you very much, honey. Now, I invite you to state our affirmation for today. And this is a really powerful one. So if we could say together, I am whole, perfect, and complete at all times and in all ways. I know that the divine presence is in me, expresses through me, by means of me, and is me in my unique and special way. I am a channel of Spirit's good. Okay. Now, we're going to be able to hear from our guest speaker in just a few moments, Reverend Doug Craig. And he has sent us in a video from Canada. His talk title is, As I Think, So It Shall Be. And this is based on Chapter 3 of The Science of Mind by Dr. Holmes. So a little bit more about Reverend Craig, his bio. He has instructed for 30 years, over 2 tenures in the School of Business at the Southern Alberta Institute of Technology in Calgary. He has been actively involved in the New Thought movement for over 40 years. He founded the Red Deer CSL in 1988 and served as its minister for 8 years. He served as an associate minister and member of the board of the Joy of Life CSL with Dr. Nadine Rogers for 12 and a half years. Doug is now a member of Calgary CSL. Doug's extended ministry includes spiritual services that he provides, such as guest speaking, which is what he's doing here for us today. He helps out with weddings, memorials, counseling, and self-development awareness classes. He is also, I love this, he is also in demand as a professional Santa Claus, and for his custom experiences in the Rocky Mountains. He is a genuine mountain man, growing up in the Canadian Rocky Mountains. His primary message is attitude plus choice equal consequence. His personal motto, if you change your attitude, you change your experience. Reverend Doug is well known for his passion with respect to the learning and application of spiritual principles. And so now we will be able to hear and see Reverend Doug Craig.
Good morning, everyone. It's great to be with you here today, all the way from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And we just got out of a big deep freeze where our average daily high was anywhere from -4 to -20 below Fahrenheit. And it's good to be back into the warm area again. Now, so far this month, what we've been talking about is we've been talking about the beautiful basics, which are the 4 basic ideas of the science of mind. And today is chapter 3. It's called What It Does. Now, the caption I provided from Dr. Holmes said that the nature of a being is a unity with 3 distinct attributes: spirit, soul, and body. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at what it does. What does this infinite creative intelligence that we're all immersed in, we're all part of this part of us that's through us by means of us, what is it all about? It's all about the creation of experiences, because that's what it does. It creates. And individually and universally and on a galactic basis, it's all the same. So we take it down to our level and what we can garner from it. Dr. Holmes on page 40 said, "We are surrounded by a mind or intelligence that knows everything, and the potential knowledge of all things exists in this mind, that we may exist in it and we may draw from it. But what we draw from it, we must draw through the channel of our own minds." So everything is available for us as far as knowledge, what to do, how to do it, anything, and also the creative processes there where we can implant ideas and have them come into form. I like the way James Allen puts it in an old book he wrote in 1903 called As a Man Thinketh. They have another published version called As a Woman Thinketh now. Same thing, just changed the gender. A man's mind may be likened to a garden, which may be intelligently cultivated or allowed to run wild. But whether cultivated or neglected, it must and will bring forth. If no useful seeds are put into it, then an abundance of useless weed seeds will fall therein and will continue to produce their kind. So this power, this presence is totally neutral. It is there waiting for you to use it however you want. You could be an authorizer and say, for everything, gee, ain't it awful? And it will produce all kinds of evidence to prove that you're right. You can do anything that you want with it. And if you don't use it, it automatically works through you by me, you, just like the garden, just like the soil of your mind. Emerson said there that advises us that we get our bloated nothingness out of the way of the divine circus. So we need to look at the human aspect and the spiritual aspect of our being and know that as we spiritualize and come from that spiritual perspective, everything comes out into form in a much better and more understandable way. So what it does, let me give you an idea of how this works for me personally. I just went through one of the things, if you haven't figured it out, I'm a professional Santa Claus. I just trimmed down after the season there to get regrowth going. But, and my lovely wife, Anna, is Mrs. Claus. So we entered the professional arena of Santa and Mrs. Claus 7 seasons ago and went from just being beginners to having the position of the top Santa in the 2 top private clubs in the city and a few other unique places. So we're extremely busy and very, very successful at it. So how do we do that? How come we're so successful? Well, Santa and Mrs. Claus are established in consciousness in the minds and the hearts of the children, parents, and grandparents. So our experience of Santa and Mrs. Claus is in our meditations to access that consciousness created by children, parents, and grandparents and draw the highest and best through us and allow it to flow through us by means of us and personify it in our own unique way. That way, when we step into the experience trusting, we know exactly what to do and exactly what to say in any given situation at any time. So we're very, very good at dealing with the families because we hold it for the family, not just the children. And so that's one of the great things that we've been able to do, and we've been able to give back and have the most wonderful experiences. You wouldn't believe the great experiences that we have. So it has the ability to bring to us whatever it is that we desire, whether we want to create something or whether we're looking to acquire knowledge. Ernest Holmes said that creation is the passing of spirit into form. So the next thing I'd like to step into is the next caption I provided. If it is to be, then it's up to me. So if it is to be, then it's up to me. Spirit in us and through us is active and is the first cause, constantly creating. It operates through our conscious minds. So here we get into the most powerful tool that we of individuals have. It's called choice. Ultimately, no matter what's going on around us or what we're looking at doing, it all boils down to choice. And then I've heard people say, well, I have no choice. Well, that is a choice. You cannot live a choiceless life. It's a very, very powerful tool to realize that whatever you choose to do, you can do, or you can experience, or you can be. And you may not be the best at it in the world, but it's the best you can be at it, and it'll bring that gratification and satisfaction. Ernest Holmes said that evolution is the outworking of the mechanical, and involution is the working of the conscious and volitional. So involution is taking consciously thought and choosing what we're going to focus in on. That's involution. And as we choose to focus in on an idea constantly, then evolution occurs, and it'll be the outworking of this mechanical law that we have that has the idea of producing whatever it is that we put into it. I like what James Allen says in A Man Thinking. He said, self-control is strength, right thought is mastery, and calmness is power. That is the ultimate tool that we've been given, is to choose. Jesus said it another way. He said, choose this day whom ye shall serve. Will you serve God or mammon? Are you going to be enraptured in the physical, or are you going to run your life from a spiritual perspective? All choice, by the way. We get to choose what to do. And just to give you an idea how powerful it is, I want to read you a quote that I come across from a man by the name of Viktor Frankl. Now, Viktor Frankl was a Jewish psychiatrist who wrote a book called Man's Search for Meaning about the wisdom he acquired from spending 4 years in the Auschwitz death camp and surviving. And here's one of the things that he said that's the most important thing I think that we can get our mind wrapped around. The one thing you can't take away from me is the way I choose to respond what you do to me. The last one's freedom is to choose one's attitude in any given circumstance or in situation. So it's to choose whom you're going to serve and what you're going to be part of. In the last example, I told you about how we chose to present ourselves in the way of service of being Santa and Mrs. Claus. And then we all have a hobby or a passion. However, are we just dabbling in it, or do we choose to fully participate and show up? So for me, I'm a little bit of I'm either in or I'm out type of guy. So one of my passions and my hobby is acquired another handle or character role I got called Mountain Man Doug. I was born in the Canadian Rockies in a town 50 miles west of Calgary at the start of the Canadian Rockies, and I grew up there, and I spent most of my time there. I'm an avid explorer, and in the last, since I retired a year ago in May, I've been out 110 days hiking and just under 700 miles, which is a fair amount for a rather rotund old guy. And I put all of my passion into that and all of my awareness into it, and you would not believe what comes back to me. How nature teaches me how I build a relationship with the beasts, the animals of the mountains, the bear and the lion and the big elk and all the other wolves and that. How do I go in there? And a lot of times I like going by myself. How do I enter into that experience and know that I'm okay? Well, I do a little bit of a prayer treatment before I go in. I say, I dwell in the bright Christ light. Only goodness is attracted to me. Thank you, Brother Bear, Brother Wolf, and Brother Eagle, for sharing your home with me today. So I take that idea and that consciousness into the woods with me, and I don't have a problem with anything at all. I've had lots of experiences, but no problem. And it's establishing in consciousness and choosing to be in that position of faith, trust, and protection, rather than to go in and be in a position of fear. A lot of people won't enter into an experience. I'm using this as an example, the mountains, but it could be anything. They won't go because they're afraid of the bear, the grizz. And I always say, you give me 48 hours in grizz country, leave me there by myself, rather than spending a Friday night downtown at the 8th Street and 7th Avenue train station. And they go, well, why is that? I said, well, there's been more people murdered at that train station that have been killed by grizz in the entire history of the Banff National Park. So you see, it's all about your perspective. It's all about what one chooses to embody, and how you get your experience out there will reflect that. You see, because you're the only thinker in your world. It really doesn't matter what anybody else thinks or what their opinion is. You're the only thinker in your world, and you will draw to you and create the results for you by what it is your predominant thought it is. So choose this day whom you serve. Choose how you're going to enter all of the experiences of your life. Are you going to be proactive or reactive? Are you going to come from love or fear? Are you going to prod for possibility or no hope? That's simply a choice. Now, the last idea I wanted to touch with here is, if you don't like what you're getting, then look at what you're giving. And our giving comes from our thinking and feeling. And not all storms come to disrupt your life. Some come to clear your path. So one of the things that we want to be really clear about is law and how it works. It's the law of circulation. It's like the seed, soil, and the plant. It all works that way. Law of circulation. Only it's giving, receiving, and utilizing or using. So we live in that world. So one of the things I always tell people, if you don't like what you're getting, then look at what you're giving. A very unpopular statement to present to people, because people really get a reaction to that. So take that one and examine. If I don't like what I'm getting, look at what I'm giving. And that's on all levels, folks. Eric Butterworth in Spiritual Economics said, it is an important moment in your life when you discover the great truth that things may happen to you and things may happen around you, but the only things that count are the things that happen within you. Because you see, we are the master of our own home. And it's up to us to manage that inner world of mind and spirit and emotion and thought. So thought and emotion is ours to manage inside. It's truly our domain. James Allen, again, wrote one of my most favorite poems in As a Man Thinketh. He said, mind is the master power that molds and makes, and man is mind, and evermore he takes the tool of thought, shaping what he wills. He brings forth 1,000 joys, 1,000 ills. He thinks in secret, and it comes to pass. The environment is his looking glass. And remember, when we're looking out there at the environment, it's simply our creation or our perception of what it is. Someone else may have a different experience of it. How we experience whatever goes on outside around us comes from how we manage inside. And how we manage inside will also create the world around us. One of my favorite poems comes from a famous New Thought author that's kind of deep and gives you a little bit more perspective on this. It's by Ella Wheeler Wilcox. And she writes, "You can never tell. You can never tell when you send a word like an arrow shot from a bow by an archer blind, be it cruel or kind, just where it may chance to go. It may pierce the breast of your dearest friend, tipped with his poison or balm, to a stranger's heart in life's great mart, it may carry its pain or calm. You can never tell when you do an act just what the result will be. But with every deed, you're sowing a seed, though the harvest you may not see. Each kindly act is an acorn dropped in God's productive soil. You may not know, but the tree shall grow with shelter for those who toil. You never can tell what your thoughts will do in bringing you hate or love. For thoughts are things, and their airy wings are swifter than carrier doves. They follow the law of the universe. Each thing must create its kind. And they speed o'er the track to bring you back whatever went out of your mind." So it's an imperative thing that we come to the understanding of the acceptance of what it does. It, or the spiritual consciousness of the universe, is a creative element that brings into form everything that's in an existence. In our own world, we bring into experience that which we choose to focus on, work on, have faith in, have faith on, and believe in. That becomes our experience of life. We just got to make sure that we switch from a faith of fear, worry, doubt, negativity, and skepticism towards a consciousness and a belief in possibility, potential, and that divine right action brings right results. So I know for you, as I know for myself, that divine right action takes place in our life, and there's a gradual, orderly, sequential unfoldment into form of the highest and best that I am, that we are, and that we experience peace, prosperity, fulfillment, and happiness. So that's my declaration. I give thanks. I know it to be so, and so it is.
You'd like to hear Reverend Doug's talk again and over and pick out more inspiration, you're welcome to check out our website, CSLPhilly, PHILLY.org, and you can have that option of getting any of our archived Sunday celebrations, Dr. Maxine and Reverend Mike's love notes. Even though they're out of town, they will be posting these for us, so we'll have that inspiration to come up as well. So now we have an opportunity to share our abundance with this center. Now, I invite you to read or state with intention and purpose our prosperity statement. Many of us enjoy holding our contribution to our hearts as we say together, "I choose to celebrate prosperity. Divine love blesses my gift. It is my acceptance of God as the source of my abundant supply. With joy and gratitude, I share my abundance with this center. In doing so, I am one with the law of circulation. My tithe goes forth to heal, to prosper, and to bless. It returns to me multiplied abundantly, and I am prospered, and so it is. Many of us like to put our contribution in our bowl here at the center. There are many ways that we can give and contribute to this center, and we see them here on the screen. And so next we have our offertory music. I believe it's The Intimate with the Infinite by Amy Steinberg.
Let me be intimate with the infinite. Let me be deeply revealed. One with the knowing, ever present, ever growing. Let me remember what's real. Let me be intimate with the infinite, vulnerable and free. I wanna be one with the sweetness, completely one with completeness. Let me be gentle with me, falling in love with everything, falling in love with divinity, falling in love with everyone, because God is in you and God is in me. Let me be intimate with the infinite. Let me be open to you. I wanna sink in the spirit. I feel it, I hear it, I see in your eyes the truth. Falling in love with everything, falling in love with divinity, falling in love with everyone, because God is in you and God is in me. Let me be intimate with the infinite. Let me be deeply revealed. Oh, I wanna be one with the knowing, ever present, ever growing. Let me remember what's real. Give it to me, God. Give it to me, give it to me, God. I'm ready to receive your love. Give it to me, give it to me, God. Give it to me, give it to me, God. I am ready to receive your love. Give it to me, give it to me, God. Give it to me, give it to me, God. I'm ready to receive your love. Give it to me, give it to me, God. Give it to me, give it to me, God. I'm ready to receive your love.
Okay. Yeah, you gotta turn me on. Can you hear me? Hello? You're on. Oh, I'm on. Okay. Very good. Well, good morning, everyone. Thank you, Reverend Doug Craig, all the way from Canada. Fabulous talk. It's always so wonderful to hear from you. You're so inspiring. We can just like feel you coming through all the way from Canada. So thank you so much for talking with us today. Also, I want to thank our dear MCs, Lady Joe, and I saw recently we're calling you Lord Joe. So I always say Mr. Joe, but I think Lord Joe is appropriate, right? So Lady and Lord Joe, thank you so much for being our special MCs today. All right, so, Oh, who am I? Edie Janik. I'm Edie Janik. I serve as the president on the board. Thank you. See why we have these people around? And we have a very special message. Sounds like we're ready for the special message. No? Hello, friends and members of the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. We have an important update to share with you regarding the center. Your support has made it possible for us to operate uninterrupted, expand our social media presence, delivering top-notch live stream Sunday celebrations, pay all of our bills on time in full, even during the challenges of the last almost 2 years. Those are some mighty fine accomplishments, and we are so grateful for all you have done to help make them possible. The time for renewing our lease at our current Suite 16 location came about this year. Our lease ends on January 31st, and it really gave us an opportunity to reevaluate how well the site suits our current needs and how it fits into our budget as set forth by the Intentional Giving Program.
Don't you love the way the universe works?
Lots of options were considered. Renew the lease with no changes at a $60,000 shortfall for the year. Renew the lease but reduce the space. For those familiar with the site today, the smaller space would include our current social area and extend to a wall where the coat rack is, with no separate room for meditation or youth group. This would lower our monthly cost by about 32% and require some storage expenses, still with a $30,000 shortfall for the year. Or do not renew the lease, go back to going to virtual for our Sunday celebrations while we explore opportunities for in-person gatherings and a permanent new home. All the while saving the money we normally would pay for rent each month after storage expenses. Throughout our exploration, one thing was always crystal clear, and that is our unfaltering commitment to ensuring Sunday celebrations are held every week, regardless of which option we landed on.
We talked about a lot of things beyond just dollars and cents. We talked about the space's presence and its presence in the community, its accessibility, and its visibility. Being in the back of the building, how can we make this visibility stronger and bring more people in? Our fiscal responsibility linked to that, to spend our contributors' gifts wisely, both in the long term and in the short term. And lastly, the uplifting impact our center has wherever we go. It's evidenced by the landlord of Suite 16 has been saying constantly how much he enjoys our presence there, that we bring a positive energy to the space.
We arrived at a united decision, recognizing that while this has been a lovely house for our home for the last 6 years and enjoyed a really good relationship with the landlord, we should not renew the lease at Suite 16 at the end of January. If you'd like to talk more in depth about this decision, I encourage you to reach out to me and anyone on the board. We welcome dialogue and would love to hear from you. This is a significant announcement, and I understand there may be questions and a need for greater clarity.
After all this careful consideration, we've decided not to renew our lease at Suite 16. But the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living will continue to be a beacon of light that we've been for more than 30 years. In our next iteration, we will transition to a completely virtual center for a period of time, as we were during COVID shutdown. We will continue to live stream our Sunday celebrations from a lovely light-filled space we've been generously offered by one of our members. And we will continue to offer online classes, workshops, and seminars and other ways to connect with one another virtually and in person. We operated this way for many months, and we know how to keep living, loving, and learning in a virtual environment until we find the right and perfect space to come together again. We continue to be in the flow and firmly see this as another positive step in our center's evolution. The financial support that the community has given us throughout this difficult time has been outstanding and has allowed us to go forward in this new direction to express positive, conscious growth for each individual in our community.
Now, as you can imagine, there's a lot for us to do in a relatively short period of time, and that's a small R on that relatively short period of time. But when we considered each of the options that we've mentioned, we talked about what each would entail. In other words, the reality with the big R of the matter is that we have a plan. And energetically, we feel Spirit's ample supply of ease and grace tying it all together for us. We'd love your help. As you know, many hands make light work. Please reach out to us if you're interested in learning about the plan and the ways in which you can assist.
Edie, that was wonderful. I'm inspired. I'm inspired by you and every one of these divine, committed, bright, beautiful, conscious, loving, wise, and wonderful board members. This has been quite a journey we have been on, not only our beloved board, but our entire beloved community. And I'm deeply grateful for our president, Edie, and for Suzanne and Payson, and for Jeff and Linda. It's not just about doing a lot of good work, even though that is a lot about what we do, but every one of these beautiful board members is so steeped in principle, so clear about our teaching, and practices it every day. It is always a joy to come together for a board meeting because there's love, there's wisdom, there are creative ideas, and there is a lot of co-creation. So as you have been hearing, this has been an amazing process and a beautiful journey in coming to the decision that we have made. And we're so grateful that the leadership is all in favor of this great idea. Oh, we have loved Sweet 16. We love the sweat equity that we all put in it when we first moved here to transform it from this plain old place to a beautiful, beautiful setting, with sanctuary and other rooms. And it was a labor of love for everyone. And so there might be, of course, a little bit of sadness in leaving what we have created. But here's the great news. We brought our home into this house for the last few years. It is our home, our spiritual home, that we are taking with us. And as we move into commitment to be with you virtually every Sunday and for classes and all the other events that we do, we also have the opportunity now to ultimately find the right and most beautiful place for us to be when the time is right for us to move into that. In the meantime, we are completely committed to you, you beloved people. It is you who have always kept this beautiful community going, steeped in principle, understanding that the love and the wisdom of this universe is what brought this divine idea into being to begin with. And we are the caretakers, we are the celebrators of this divine idea as we move into a greater expression of our beloved community. We're only going forward. We're only growing in consciousness and deepening in our connection to spirit and to one another. Reverend Mike and I love you, appreciate you, adore you. And let's recognize that we have been working on a vision, all of us, That is a new iteration of the Greater Philadelphia Center for Spiritual Living. And we're ready to step into it now. You ready to step into it too? Of course you are. You've heard these wonderful presentations. And I get to wrap it up now by saying thank you. Thank you to the board. Thank you for the AAA committee. That would be John Zoll and Karen Davis and all who continue to work the numbers and have kept track of everything in order to know what is right and appropriate for us. And Karen did such beautiful work in dealing with our landlord and created a beautiful relationship. And now it's time for us to move on up, and that's what we're doing now. So thank you, bless you, so grateful for you. Our new vision is unfolding. We have it ready to show you in a beautiful word cloud that Linda O'Neill has created for us. You'll be seeing that soon. That's what we're going to continue to focus on. That is our future. Let's see what grand and glorious manifestation of God's life we are all ready to accept and exhibit and express and promote in our community and beyond. In the meantime, stay tuned every Sunday, every class, every event online until we are physically together again. In the meantime, we couldn't be more together than we are right now. What do you say to a closing treatment? Oh, I say yes. Oh, beloved presence of God, what a joy it is to celebrate this community, to celebrate the next expression of love and wisdom and divine life that we are. We gratefully move forward with confidence and faith. We gratefully deepen our connection to the living presence of God that is within and all around us. We celebrate our ability to continue to be connected virtually and every other beautiful way, so that not only are we experiencing the love of the beloved, but that we're seeing it and feeling it and experiencing it within one another in this beloved community. So thank you, thank you, thank you. This is a new beginning, and we are moving forward with enthusiasm. God is good all the time, and this is absolute proof of it. And so accepting the truth of these words, accepting and celebrating them, we now release our word of truth to the perfect law of mind, and we are so grateful that it is already a divine done deal. And so it is. Bless you all.
With each other, we're not alone. With each other, we're not alone. With each other, we're not alone.
Thanks, Payson. Thank you. Thank you for sticking around to hear that really important message, and thanks to all the board members and John Zoll also, and Dr. Maxine for putting that together. And I really do encourage people to reach out to us if you have questions or you want to help. We're going to be starting to pack things up here rather quickly. And you can look forward to having our next Sunday live stream from the Inspiration Cafe, which Linda O'Neill has so graciously offered. We love the Inspiration Cafe. It's a beautiful setting. And so it'll be live streamed next Sunday from that location so that we can make a mess of this place, and not in a bad way. I mean, make a mess moving things around and boxing things up in a loving and appreciative way. So I do have a few other announcements of happenings. So Dr. Maxine is offering a special 1.5-hour free Zoom workshop entitled Deepening Treatment. It's on Wednesday, January 26th from 6:30 to 8 p.m. This Zoom workshop is designed For the Science of Mind student who is ready to understand and utilize spiritual mind treatment, otherwise referred to as affirmative prayer, more profoundly and powerfully. As we deepen our trust in divine presence, our manifestations of good occur more effortlessly. This workshop offers opportunities to move more completely into a consciousness of peaceful acceptance and effective demonstration. So you can get all the information on how to register and actually register on our website, which is cslphilly.org. You can click on the events calendar and click on the date of January 26th. You'll be able to register there. It is a free, 1.5 hour session, did I say? But love offerings are always welcome. So we gratefully appreciate any contribution you may feel like you want to give. So that's that coming up. And how would you like to learn how to create miracles in your life? Well, Dr. Maxine has a class. It's an 8-week class to help you do just that. It's an accredited Science of Mind class based on this book, Shortcut to a Miracle, How to Change Your Consciousness and Transform Your Life. It says to hold book up, so I'm holding the book up. Okay. This virtual class begins Tuesday evening, February 8th, via Zoom from 6:30 to 9. Again, it's 8 sessions. If you're interested, you know where to go. The calendar. Right, on cslphilly.org. Click on the calendar. You can register there. For those of you that are here today, thank you very much for joining us. You had no idea that this would be such an important Sunday for you to be here, right? So we do have our bookstore open if you're interested in checking out the cards and the gifts, any January birthdays or anniversaries. We've got some wonderful cards back there. We've got mugs, books. And we want to thank everyone that joined us from live stream on Facebook and on our YouTube channel. Thank you so much for joining us. And I saw Reverend Doug Craig out there too. So he was watching. So I'm glad you had a chance to join us this morning. Please be sure to like and subscribe and share with others. When you subscribe, you'll receive notices about our Sunday celebrations and our love notes. And let's see. I think that may be, so we have a little bit of a giveaway. If you're here today on your way out, if you'd like to pick up one of these books, they're free. It's by Alan Cohen, and it's called I Had It All the Time. I just kind of perused it. I had not read this book before. I perused it a little bit. It's very easy read and very common sense. I'm looking forward to diving into it more. But they're on the table back there next to the water bottles. You can grab one of those as well. And if, I'm just going to say tomorrow, many of us are going to be here helping to organize the move and package things up. So if you stop by, you also can get a free book. How's that? All right. So I think I turn things back over to you. All right. Thank you. Get rid of my stuff.
All right. Thank you so very much, Edie. That was a lot to take in, and we really appreciate all the members of the board, including Reverend Dr. Maxine, for all that they are helping us to understand about what's coming up. Now, I believe we have a closing song. We shall overcome. Love will rise again. And that's by Daniel Namod and Nemo Patel.
that's burning inside, the hurting and the suffering minds, creating anger, fear, and pain, suffocating our times. The tougher it gets, the rougher social media cries. But we see to it that we tweeting only negative lines. We're sick and tired of history, but repeating it twice. Greed, anger, and violence clearly stealing our nights. Feeling it tight between the shoulders with a chill in the spine. Pinching myself, waking up, trying to stop the rewind and move forward towards stories, overcoming our fears. Choosing love over hate, praying, trading hugs over tears. There's only one choice, breaking down the walls and repair every broken heart on this planet till there's no longer fear.
Walls can't hold us in. Fear can't keep us down. Love will rise again. Yeah, it's rising right now. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
We shall overcome.
every time I question, am I getting stronger?
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. We shall overcome. Young Gandhi couldn't fathom how to deal with himself when he was thrown off the train and the pain that he felt. Mrs. Parks disrespected, dragged into jail because of the color of his skin, organs, tissues, and cells. One day, a young girl was shot on a bus by a man, a terrorist, part of the Taliban. He said, "On this land, you have no right to stand for what you believe in. Girls have no chance here." Well, now, that's just the story of three souls who shook our planet after being down on their knees. And it's not gonna stop. Those seeds have now become trees, and as human beings, we'll keep on digging till we find peace.
Yeah, the cynics always say that nothing ever changes. The human nature's bound to stay the same. But it couldn't be more plain that violence never pays, injustice never stays. It's bound to fade away. What if history awaits? What if today's the day? So let's all lead the way. We shall overcome.
Every time I think it's gonna take much longer,
We shall overcome.
every time I question, am I getting stronger?
We have just begun.
Gonna make a change, we gotta push much farther.
We shall overcome.
We shall overcome. Come on now. Longer.
We shall overcome.
Every time I question, am I getting stronger?
We shall overcome someday.
'Cause I'm feeling it deep in my heart.
Deep in my heart.
I do believe.
I do believe.
I do believe.
We shall overcome someday.
Come on, put your hearts together. Here we go. Woo! I knew it. God had a plan for us to do it. To hit rock bottom before we rise and continue. To first learn greed before we learn to be human. To do wrong deeds before we learn to spread beauty. There's always a plan, and now it's time to take a stand for the rights of the planet, every woman and man. We ain't gonna stop, only growing our demands for all beings to feel peace in every heart and land. Thank you, Lord, for the strength and the courage to bring us together and keep our souls nourished. These tough times will only drown in our chorus, cause we all believe that the truth is before us. We shall overcome this pain. We shall overcome this day. We pray for love to lead the way.
We shall overcome.
Okay, thank you once again for being here with us. And we have just one more message for you from, what am I now, Lady Joe and Lord Joseph.
Thank you very much. Speaking for all those that are present today and part of today's celebration, thank you for joining us. Be safe and go in peace. And so it is.
Good job.